Hello friends, I'm here today with Cheswick. Cheswick is actually my number 10 adopted child. He has an incredibly beautiful story. I'll share it on another video sometime in the future. He's lucky to be alive. I'll cut to the chase and tell you that this boy was attacked by 5 dogs and rescued, thank God, very quickly by some very kind people. And then he ended up with me. There's a beautiful, much more detailed story behind that, but I just wanted to introduce you to Cheswick. And he asked me if he could be in the video today, so. Okay, Cheswick, go be a cat. All right. I stay out of politics as much as I can on my videos because you have to. People are so triggered and violent and venomous in their opinions about things that it's just best left alone. I do my best to focus on far, far deeper realms of our being and consciousness, and then I suppose that plays out in the outer and less deep realms of our everyday life out in the world. And so I'm not going to allow any political element to what I'm going to share with you today. But since this just happened, I am going to share the event with you. And of course, a reminder that we can only share events, we cannot share experiences, all right? So just a few hours ago, as most people will be aware by now, there was an assassination attempt on President Trump. And here's what happened to me. And I thought I would share this with you because perhaps there's a nugget of wisdom or practical spirituality within it. I live in Thailand, so I am 12 hours ahead of the east coast of the United States. I am EST plus 12 time zone. This morning at 6:30 a.m. my time, which is 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States, I awakened and I realized, oh well, I need to go take a leak, and but I awakened with a very clear memory that I had just kind of hit pause on a dream that I was having. You know, the dreams that you remember are usually the ones that were happening just as you woke up. The ones that happen in other deeper cycles of sleep earlier in the night are harder to remember. They're usually forgotten when you wake up. So I woke up at 6:30, fully conscious that I was fully consciously thinking about the dream that I had just been having. And then I went to the bathroom real quick, came back, and fell back asleep for another period of, 20 or 30 minutes. And now let me tell you what I was dreaming. I was suddenly in a place where there were hundreds and maybe thousands of people, a crowd, kind of like you would see at a fair or a carnival. People just kind of, like at a boardwalk, something like that, where there were hundreds of people, dense enough that you could reach the people next to you just by touching your arms, by reaching your arms out. And it was like that everywhere, 1,000 people. And Donald Trump came from over this side, had the red hat on, and he came over and he had something in his arms. And it was, I'll just say it was a vessel. It was a vessel, like a wine bag. It wasn't a metal pitcher or a decanter or anything like that, but it served the exact same purpose. But it was kind of like, it was almost as if he had like a leather side bag that he could open. Something like that. the vessel wasn't as prominent to me in the dream as what was in it. And what was in it was a pure liquid, whether it was just water or I don't know what it, I guess like that. But this vessel that he had liquid in it. And he was going around and saying to people, look, look. And he was showing it to them. And the energy around what he was doing was actually very good. It was revelation type, like let me peel back the veil. Take a look at this. That was the energy that I got from it. And whenever anybody would look at it, like a mirror, an obvious metaphor, they would see into their soul. They would behold their own true nature of their soul. And my impression was, oh wow, you're doing a good thing. We would expect only political level stuff. And let's face it, he's not known for being profoundly, philosophical and mystical or anything along those lines. But what he was doing was noble and good. And I was pleased to see him doing it. Like, oh, I didn't know you had that side of you, in you. And I was happy to see him doing that. And he was just going around offering it to people. Like, hey, have a look. And when they looked in, they would see reflected back to them their own true nature of their soul. So this was at 6:30 a.m. my time that I then woke up after that second revisitation of the dream. I was having the dream. It kind of went on pause. I ran to the bathroom real quick, came back, fell back asleep, resumed the dream. And that's all it was. It was just seeing that event happen. And then at 6:30, I woke up into consciousness, and I said, "Oh, let me send a message to somebody." And then I looked and I saw on the internet what had happened, and it had happened at approximately 6:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States, which would have been 6:13 a.m. my time here, which was when I was dreaming. So, I felt compelled enough to share that dream with you in order to share what I believe, what I think I understand or interpret or discern the message of the dream to be. And it might unfold to me more and clearly and differently later, but what I take away from it right now is when you heard the news that an assassination attempt was made on President Trump's life, what was your immediate reaction? And if it differed, what was then your conditioned response? Question: how did you instantly react when you read it? What feeling or inner dialogue, or inner monologue, I should say, occurred within you within the first few minutes of that happening? And examine ourselves. What did we respond? What did this shocking incident pull up from the dark depths of our beings and our unconscious minds? And examine that. I think it's telling. I think it is a litmus test for the true state of our souls on our individual journeys back, returning back, realizing back, remembering ourselves back to the pure and divine love that ultimately we all are.